Welcome back. While African National Congress delegates from the Eastern Cape have actually demonstrated emotions about the party's elected leadership, this after their chairperson Oscar Mabuyane has failed to make the cut in the top 7. The province was, however, elated that party president Cyril Ramaphosa and national chair Gwede Mantashe were re-elected. Mabuyane was vying for the position of deputy president but lost to Paul Mashatile. eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda is in East London, where delegates are expected to gather for the second leg of the conference. He joins us live now. Ronald, obviously it's a very contentious time within the African National Congress. In a few days' time, we'll be hearing from the president of the ANC on obviously the much anticipated January 8th statement. But it also happens where there are losers and winners when it comes to the different slates. And as we witnessed with the 55th elective conference, not everybody got the position desired, including one such as Oscar Mabuyane. Just talk to us a little bit about the impact that this is having on the conference and perhaps where ANC delegates are positioned in this hope of renewing the ANC.
Good morning, Faith. Well, certainly unfinished business for the ANC as they want to conclude the 55th National Conference. We are gathered here at the ICC in East London, where there's around 500 delegates who have gathered this morning. The program is expected to start at around 10:30, and we are expecting a marathon-long program, as we heard from General Secretary of the ANC, Mr. Fikile Mbalula. But what we can say, Faith, is that there are also issues within the ANC here in the Eastern Cape. Babalo Matikizela, a rival of Oscar Mabuyane, was quoted as saying recently in media reports that if the ANC was more united here in the Eastern Cape, we could have seen more members from the ANC here in the Eastern Cape serving in the NEC top 7. But for more on what is happening on the ground, we were supposed to be joined by Lulama Ngokaitube, who is the secretary of the ANC here in the Eastern Cape. But Gif Kondi joins us now. Gif, thank you so much for your time, sir. Where are we at the moment in terms of the program? We are still hearing that some of the delegates are coming far and wide from other regions of the Eastern Cape, and they are yet to be here.
Thanks very much. I think first and foremost, we must agree that as we had the confirmation from the Provincial Secretary, Comrade Ngokaitube, 90% of the delegates have already converged here at the venue at ICC. And secondly, remember that this is a conference or a continuation of the 55th National Conference, which was held in Nasrec. You will also recall in that conference that reports from commissions were never presented in plenary because of time constraints, because the conference got delayed when it comes to registration. Now, all those reports now will be presented in plenary via hybrid across the 9 provinces. A process that will also be seen here on the screens, so that when the presentations are done, all delegates coming from branches across the province will deliberate and input on all those reports that will be coming from the commissions.
A number of policy resolutions will be tabled. What is the stance of the ANC in the Eastern Cape with regards to these policy resolutions?
You will recall that Eastern Cape is one of those impoverished provinces. One of the challenges that is faced by the Eastern Cape is the issue of rural urban migration, where you will get more of the citizens of the province going to look for better opportunities or economic opportunities in provinces like the Western Cape and Gauteng. And we feel that, we are almost 30 years to democracy now. We must have programs or initiatives or local economic development project that will make sure that we reduce that rural urban migration so that people get confined to the province, so that all those opportunities, whether it's work opportunities, whether economic opportunities, they remain in the province. And one of the critical projects that are already being actioned in the province is the eNCA. It's a 1.6 billion rand eNCA bridge, which is crossing Lusiki City from KZN up until East London. That project in its own has created more than 3,000 jobs and more than 5,000 indirect jobs. That project in its own has revived the economy of the coastal belt of the former Transkei in OR Tambo. So these are the projects that we are talking about that must be at the center of development of the province. The second one was the issue that was raised by the Minister of Finance, the Mzimvubu River Dam, the project which we have been agitating as a province for more than 10 years, and the commitment was made by Finance Minister that that project will come into fruition. So we also believe that that project on its own is going to revive the economy for our time, but also going to make sure that people have got access to water, because this is also one of the challenges that are facing our communities, the access to water. But I think delegates also must deal with this issue of access to roads, because some of our own people, even in the province, have got serious challenges when it comes to access to roads because of gravel roads. And remember, these gravel roads are a creation of the Bantustan system, are a creation of the underdevelopment created by the apartheid system.
Delays in registration has got us to this point.
We, as a province, we are not affected by the delays in registration. As I recall to you that because of this is a continuation of the 5th National Conference, 90% of the delegates are already inside the hall here. We heard in the other provinces that there were delays when it comes to the registration, but as a province, we're not affected by that delay. Hence, all our delegates have been sitting here from 9 o'clock.
Was the ANC in the Eastern Cape united into going into the conference?
The ANC has always been united in the province. You remember?
Despite reports that they were not.
No. Look, the ANC has always been united in the province. You will recall in 2017, we were also one of those provinces that made sure that the renewal agenda is affirmed in that conference, because we said Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa must be the president of the ANC. In 2017, we were one of the provinces that were in the forefront of that campaign. That again in 2022 in December, we were also one of those provinces in the forefront for that campaign. Hence, our perspective won the day in the conference. You'll recall that we're also one of those provinces who were agitating for the 7 officials, and we said there must be women in the SGO. And you can see now today, after that amendment of the Constitution, there are 2 females, or there are 2 women in the officials, your first DSG and the second DSG. And first time in the history of the ANC that we've got a Treasurer General who's also a woman. And these are the perspective come from our own province in the Eastern Cape. Hence, we are saying we were united in 2017, we are united again in 2020. Hence, our perspective won the day at Nazareth.
Secretary General Fikile Mbalula is saying that the Phala matter won't be discussed at this gathering. I mean, this is not only of national but also of international interest if one looks at the markets and how they've reacted when there were concerns as to whether President Cyril Ramaphosa will resign. Why don't we talk about this matter?
Remember, the issue of Phala was not on the agenda of the conference. Hence, if you were listening to the discussion even in plenary in December, it was never an issue because it was not on the agenda. The ANC is dealing with the matter. Hence, even our own public representatives in Parliament are also dealing with that matter in Parliament. The conference today is the continuation of the conference in December. That must look at the economic situation of the country, on the issue of crime levels in the country, on the issue how to address unemployment in the country, how to eradicate poverty. I think those are the preoccupation of delegates to this conference.
All right, just very lastly, we are heading to a year very important for South Africans, especially as we look ahead to the general elections next year. As the Eastern Cape, what are you promising people here in the province?
Look, I'm sure you will remember the project that I was talking about. There are many opportunities that have been created in the province. I've indicated to you about the Mzivubu River Dam, which is the project that's going to be actioning this year. The Msikaba project, 1.6 billion, which is already in progress. There are many investor programs. You'll recall the Premier also of the province 2 months ago. He announced in the investment conference that about 40 billion investment coming to the province. One of the critical areas that I think the media always focus, the economy of this province is also get revived by the economic boom in the Eastern Cape of the province, your Nelson Mandela region. The Pucha ITZ is one of our eNCA projects in the province where many opportunities have been created. If you look at Nelson Mandela Bay today, economic opportunities have been created.
But it remains the most poorest province. It remains the poorest province.
Yes, that's why I was saying to you that although it remains the poorest province, but we are striving, we are making our own best efforts in addressing that so that this rural migration, we eradicate it.
All right, Gift Kondi, thank you so much for your time. That was a gift to Kondi from the ANC here in the Eastern Cape. The program is expected to start at around 10:30.